Okay, we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I know this is a bit different, but we do have to have a fall parents meeting that everybody has to attend. And this year we are doing it online. My name is Doug Rickard. I'm athletic director at the high school. I'm here with Andy Keppel, who is our athletic director at the middle school. And we are combining our meeting this year together. And you do have to view this, and you also have to make sure that you watch the Lindsay's Law. Even if you watch the Lindsay's Law before, you have to watch it again, and we have to have these paperwork signed that everyone has attended these meetings. So we'll get on with our meeting here, and hopefully you'll take it serious and you'll watch through the entire video. First of all, let me just say that we have a lot of kids that play sports, and we're happy to have all of you out there. And this has been a different year, kind of a trying year. We don't know exactly where we're at right now. Um, when it comes to fall sports. Still waiting on some guidance from the state. So this could change in the time that you watch this. Something may change drastically from there. But right now, let me just go over a few of our slides. And the first one here says this. Too many kids have been taught that the goal of high school sports is to achieve an athletic scholarship. Here's the truth. The goal of high school sports is to learn how to be a better person, a better teammate, a better communicator, and to enjoy your high school experience. We just kind of want to reiterate here that less than 1% of the high school athletes actually get a Division I scholarship. It's not your coach's job to make sure that they get a scholarship. It's really about your kids, how hard they work in school, how hard that they work on the field, off the field, and that they put themselves out there themselves, whether it's online, playing as much as they can possibly play, contacting coaches through email. We put a lot of emphasis on these kids going to college. I've been fortunate enough to have a son who's playing college baseball, though last year didn't get to play college baseball. And it's a great experience for him. But as good an athlete as he was, he's a Division II athlete, and he always talks about his high school experience and how much fun it was. We want to keep in mind that we want his high school experience, his junior high experience, to be a good time. We sometimes get really caught up in showcases and colleges and where are my kids going to go, and the bottom line is we want it to be fun, and hopefully we can continue to do this if we can continue to play. We don't really know where we're at now, but I think we learned last year how important high school sports are when we weren't able to play them. So we'll move on to the next slide. The OSA and Madison's eligibility standards. Now this has changed a little bit this year because of COVID-19. Everybody is eligible when it comes to their grades. So I do want to make sure that we emphasize, though, that whether we are online this year, whether we are in school this year, that the state will not make this adjustment again. They didn't know what to do because of what happened last year and how it happened, um, really fast. Nobody kind of knew what was going to happen, and because people weren't prepared, the state decided that they weren't going to hold this against the kids and they were going to allow everyone to be eligible. But the state will not do this again. So no matter if we're online or not online, we really have to take our grades serious because we will go back to these standards in the winter. And for the high school sports to be eligible, you have to pass 5 one-credit courses or the equivalent. In junior high and eighth grade, you must have received passing grades in a minimum of 5 subjects in a preceding grade period. Now, at the high school, you have to have a 1.5 grade point average also. So what we make sure that we tell our kids is please do not drop a class without talking to your guidance counselor and your coach. So many times we have kids that end up failing one class and they're not eligible. They don't have enough credits or it hurts them with a grade point average. Gym always becomes something that people are confused about. Gym does not count as a credit on one of your 5 credits. It does count towards your eligibility with your grade point average. So, for example, if you were taking 6 classes and gym is one of those, and you failed a class, you would actually, and you didn't fail any other classes, you would actually only pass four. You'd only have 4 credits because gym does not count as a full credit. So that's why we want to make sure that we take as many classes as possible, and we try not to drop any of those classes. I don't think we need to go over the sportsmanship that much with you. It's there for you to read. I would say probably the biggest thing is the OCC adopted a sportsmanship um, bylaw a few years ago. If any fan is removed from a game by an official or an administrator, that fan will now get 7 days where they are not allowed to go to a contest, whether it's middle school or high school. A second offense would be a 30-day ban from high school or middle school sports. And if for some reason you were escorted or asked to leave because of your conduct 3 times, you would be banned from ever going to games again. Hopefully, we don't have anything that we have to worry about with that, but we ask that you be polite, that you be respectful of the other teams, of your teams, and try really hard not to talk about other kids or our coaches, please. Our athletic code of conduct: in order for our teams to achieve their fullest potential, students will need to practice hard work together and maintain a healthy lifestyle free of tobacco, alcohol, steroids, and both performance enhancing and recreational drugs. Students can't expect to attain peak performance if they are under the influence of these dangerous and often illegal substances. The coach of your sport will also have rules that they are expected to follow. Participation in extracurricular activities is a privilege. When we go to parent and coach communication, just make sure that if you have a problem with the coach, please, please, please don't approach that coach before a game or after a game. Emotions are usually high at those points. If you're angry about something, sometimes it's better to wait 24 hours and think about what you want to say. The coach has had a tough time, or maybe a great time. Maybe it was a great win, and they don't want to discuss anything at that time. And what we constantly say is, if you really are having an issue with a coach and you feel that you need to have a meeting, set up a meeting with me or Mr. Keppel with the coach. And I have found that has worked time and time again for us. And I really emphasize this. 9 times out of 10, when I have a parent coach meeting, it's about playing time. Try to really think about what the meeting is about. Talk to your son or daughter about why you don't think that they are getting as much playing time as you think they deserve. And time again, when we have these meetings, um, when the coach sits down and explains why that athlete is not playing as much as you would like, we usually get to the bottom of these things and figure things out. I coached here for 26 years, and I say this often when people ask me if I played favorites. And I say, yes, I did play favorites. My favorite kids were the kids that came every day, and they worked hard every day, and they did what they were supposed to every day. So if we want to talk about favorites, yeah, I played my favorite kids. But we don't have coaches here that are playing people that they shouldn't be playing. And a lot of times I think you just need to really sit back a little bit and self-evaluate and see where your child is at before you want to get into our coaches. Required forms, these really haven't changed yet. Um, uh, but the way things are going, I don't know if we'll have to add any forms or not. But right now, everybody has to have a physical. This year, we did not bus any of our kids, so it is on the parent, the child, to go get the physical on their own. But we do have to have a physical, concussion form, emergency medical card, parent permission, training rules, risk of injury, and the Lindsay Law all has to be turned in to our secretary, to me, or Mr. Keppel before your child is allowed to play. So make sure that when you're done with this video, you do watch the Lindsay Law and you have that signed. You need to sign it as well as your child needs to sign it for them to be able to play. And of course, we need all the other things there, the physical forms and the concussion forms and all the other things before they're able to play. Let me just talk real quick about tickets. You can see how much everything is there. I'm not going to go into great detail. We are not going to an online ticketing. Some schools now are because of the COVID-19. We're going to try to still have paper tickets. If we have events such as football, which would be a bigger event, we may do all of that pre-sale. We have not been informed yet, and this could come at any time, of what the seating capacities will look like. The state has talked about a 25% capacity up to a 50% capacity to full capacity. But if we have something like half capacity at a Friday night football game, we would only be able to sell 2,500 tickets, and that is between our fans and the visitors. So things may change a little bit. The prices won't. Of course, it might be a good time to get an all sports pass. We don't know what lines are going to look like yet. If we do go into some events, we haven't been told what we will have to do with those, and things might take a little longer. This year, we also added a $30 student all sport pass. If your son or daughter wants to purchase one pass for $30, that'll get them into any junior high or high school event for the whole season. So it's a pretty good deal. As of right now, fall sports pictures are Tuesday, August 4th. I don't think the date will change right now, but pictures may be done a little differently. We do not know if we will have team photos. We may have individual photos. Still in contact with Life Touch about what we will be doing with photos, but right now the picture day is set for August 4th. And again, that is saying that the season will open up August 1st. That could still change. I'll let you go ahead and read through that slide.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Keppel. I'm the middle school athletic director and assistant principal. Again, we're not going to read to you all the information on all these slides, but you can pause the video if we move too fast. But we have had to suspend fans, athletes, coaches for unacceptable behavior during events. Please be respectful to our opponents, the officials, and any ticket takers, everybody else at an event. Guidelines and code of conducts all students participating in interscholastic sports must follow. These things are coming from our athletic handbook that I'm going to be talking about in the next few slides about, drugs, alcohol, tobacco use, and some of the consequences that go along with that. This slide obviously talks about tobacco. Vaping is included into this now. That's become a problem where we've had a lot of athletes be suspended from school and also be suspended from athletics for using these substances. Again, you can read the steps as we go through. You can pause the video if we're moving too fast, but most of them have a first step, a second step, and normally the third step is a big one. Excuse me. School and coaches rules, which may lead to suspension or dismissal from the team. Obviously, these are standard rules that any school or any team would have. And notice number 7 there, other similar conduct not specified.
Each coach will have his own set of rules or her set of rules. So those will hopefully we will have individual parent meetings set up by each coach. Usually that's done after our parent meeting. Of course, this year we have not been able to do that. So each coach will be getting with you and outlining their specific rules that they have. Also note that there could be some different rules when it comes to COVID this year. Um, we right now are on a level 3 in Richland County, a level red, whatever you want to call it, where everyone is now wearing masks. Um, we don't know exactly what that's going to mean with other schools. We don't know what that's going to mean when it comes to playing schools that are red, schools that are in orange. We haven't gotten guidance on what we will do with that stuff yet, but we do know that when we are on buses, we will wear masks. If kids are belligerent and they don't want to wear a mask on a bus, and a coach says, "Look, this is our rule," or we're going to wear masks when we're in a meeting room. Um, and kids don't want to do it, they may be asked to leave. We also may have a situation where, a kid takes somebody else's mask. If he does something, we're using our own water bottles now, and he grabs somebody's water bottle and does something. I'm just throwing things out there. There's a lot of rules now that we have to think about when it comes to COVID, and things have changed. So there may be rules that they put in specifically, just like we have given them guidelines on weight rooms, locker rooms, these kind of things, that they may have their own individual rules.
We're back to alcohol use and student drug abuse. Again, next few slides just kind of outline some of the consequences and some of the steps. You can pause the video if we move through them too quickly. Violation or possession. First offense, a student will be suspended from 33%. Unless they agree to educational sessions through Casey, will be reduced to 10%. Second offense is suspension from all extracurricular organizations for 1 calendar year. And there's obviously some other steps and exemptions if you continue to read. The third offense, the student will be denied participation in any curricular organization for the rest of their time at Madison. Alcohol use, student drug abuse continued, sale or supply. So now they're supplying it to others. There's a different set of consequences, as you can see. And then back to our COVID-19 policies that Mr. Rickert was talking about a minute ago. Again, these things are evolving daily. But it is extremely important that parents, athletes, and coaches communicate during this pandemic. If your child is sick or showing any symptoms, please keep them at home so they do not infect others. Continue to emphasize proper hygiene and continue to washing hands. Kids should not be sharing clothing or equipment. There will be consequences if athletes do not follow the guidelines set by the coach and the administration. Athletes will be required to wear masks when they're on the bus going to and from games. Coaches will continue to take temperatures and ask questions related to COVID-19 to make sure your athlete will be able to practice or participate in a contest. Again, even as we speak, these things are continuing to evolve with the different levels issued by the governor. This is our trainer, Aaron. Aaron does a great job. I'll let Doug speak more about what our athletic department does here.
Erin Millward is our trainer. She's usually here with us and speaks every year to me. And she wanted to make sure that she got her slides in here. She is a fantastic trainer for us. Again, she's been here 13 years and does a great job with our kids. She is really in a tough spot right now with the COVID. She's being told every day some of the new things that she's going to have to do. Temperature checks are still going to be taking, and we're going to try to do that. We've been doing that with our athletes the entire time, and right now we will continue to do that before practice. And then Erin, a lot of times, if she sees that somebody may have symptoms or any type of symptoms, they'll probably be sent home. We are hoping that if a kid has symptoms, that they don't actually go to practice. But sometimes maybe those symptoms occur at practice. But she just wants to show some of these slides for you here and make sure that you read through them thoroughly. Dr. Ario is our team physician. He's been our team physician here for a few years. great guy. He's usually at every home football game, and he's also on West 4th Street there at the Bump and Bruise Clinic on Saturdays. The Lindsay Law video takes about 16 to 18 minutes, I think, something like that. And I know some of you have already watched it before, but we ask that you do watch it again and that you do sign the form and that your son or daughter also watches the video and brings it in signed to the coach so that we can make sure that you've watched it, you witnessed it, and again, it's one of the forms that you have to have in to be able to play. Again, I want to thank everybody, and this is a very trying time for all of us. We are hoping that we get to play sports this year. Everything so far is moving along. The governor has said that he wants sports in the fall. We will do the best that we can here to try to keep your child safe, but understand that things change quickly.